maybe this isn't right for you. Maybe you need to get out of this. Listen when he tells you, you know what, this abuse you're enduring, it is not what you're meant for. It's not what you deserve. You deserve more than this. You need to get out of this. Listen when he talks to you. I had to listen because I had no other choice. It was either I ended my life or I listened to God talk to me, and I chose to listen when he talked. And that's a really hard thing to realize. And if you've ever been where I was in just such a hard situation, such a hard time season of your life, you have to understand that it's not always going to be like this. It's not always going to be a hard season. You're going to have good seasons. You're going to have great seasons. You're also going to have hard times. Just because you accept God and you live the way, he wants you to live doesn't mean your life isn't going to be hard. It's just going to be easier with him in it. And the point of this story, because I got a little off topic, I'm sorry about that. The point of this story, like I said, is for me to remind you that God allows us to go through hard things to teach us that we can persevere in the face of anger, abuse, depression, or anything else that you face, any of those hard things that you face. We have these hard seasons of life or traumatic events or any kind of situation that, we struggle with, but we always end up taking something away from it. For me, the really hard times in my life have taught me that no matter what, God is always going to get me through it. It may be hard, it may suck, it may be the hardest thing that you've ever had to deal with, but I know there is a reason for you, for me, for us to endure whatever we're going through. No one ever thinks about God during a traumatic event, right? Like I don't know, like when I was in my domestic violence relationship, no, I did not think about God. I was very, very far away from God. And I was in a very, very dark place. I didn't think about God. I was angry. I was like, why am I in this situation? Why am I allowing myself to be put in this awful, awful relationship, in this awful situation? Where's God now? And this was way after my, hard teen years. This is when I was in my early 20s. And so I again was angry and asked why? Why am I in this situation? But you know what? I got my daughter who saved my life out of that awful situation. My daughter is why I endured all that. My daughter is why I got through that. And my daughter is why I got out of that. My daughter saved my life. My daughter is what pushed me to leave that awful person. My daughter is what pushed me to never, ever, ever accept that abuse, that treatment, those words, the physical, the mental, the emotional, all of that. My daughter is what got me out of that. And that is what I feel is why I went through what I went through in that relationship. And I feel that God allowed all this in my life, some of these really awful things, because it got me to where I am right now. It got me to be a strong, independent, won't take shit from no one woman that is now talking to you and trying to help people like you get through whatever you're struggling with. God allowed me to struggle and go through what I went through and come out stronger than ever because I'm here now. I'm here fulfilling my purpose, which is to help as many people as I can get through whatever they are getting, whatever they're going through, whatever past they have, whatever traumas they've endured, whatever abuse they've endured, any of that. So, yes, I had hard times. And yes, it was awful at times. friendships, relationships, some of my childhood, a lot of things that I went through. But now where I am, I'm strong. I'm very strong. I would not be this strong if I didn't go through what I went through. And I'm telling you right now, whatever it is that you're going through, there's a reason. And it might feel like, hell no, what I'm going through right now is there's no reason for this. There's no reason. There's no positive at the end of this tunnel. But there is. There is. It's going to make you stronger. You'll never, ever, ever be in that situation again once you get out of it because you will learn. You will learn from that situation. And I want to talk specifically to you if you are in an abusive relationship. It's okay to not understand why you're still there. It's okay to not understand why you put yourself through that hurt, physical, mental, emotional, whatever abusive relationship you're in, because I was there. And it's not easy. But you know what? Once you find out and you remind yourself, once you figure out how worthy you are of love, how worthy you are of respect, and how worthy you are of just a normal relationship, you won't deal with it anymore. And I pray that you get out of this relationship. I pray that you end whatever kind of abuse, whatever it is, today, because you will be free. And God will never leave you. And God has not left you. God is still going to be there for you, whether you stay or you go. But I really pray that you leave and you take your life back because you deserve it. Your kids deserve it. But mostly you deserve it. I've been where you are, and it's hard. It's really hard. And it's hard to put yourself back together after that. But whatever trauma that you're enduring right now, no matter how many times you tell yourself you deserve it, you don't. So I just want you to know you don't deserve whatever you're going through, but you are going to learn from it. And I bet you won't ever make that mistake again. So, after all that, I want to tell you not only, if you're a violent relationship or any of that abusive, even if you have an alcoholic parent like me and you just don't know how to navigate boundaries, navigate the relationship, and you're just tired and you just don't know how to do it anymore, I encourage you to pray for God to show you the path to take. Even with the little amount of faith that I had as a teen, I always prayed. I prayed for God to show me where I needed to be and to help me get through what I was going through. And prayer, I am a huge believer of the power of prayer. I've seen it with my own eyes. And when you pray to God and you ask Him for guidance, wisdom, strength, that is what is going to pull you through. And for me, I can tell you the night that I ended, the night before I ended my abusive relationship, it was a very, very bad fight. It got physical. And the night that happened, I prayed so hard. I cried myself to sleep praying for God to give me strength to leave, to end this relationship. And guess what? The next day, I threw his shit out and I told him to get out. And he never, that was it. It was done. And I had that strength and I was like, that was God's strength because I literally felt like, I don't even know, like 1,000,000 pounds were lifted off my shoulders. And I didn't have that by myself. I prayed for that. So if you have any kind of situation like you're abusive marriage, you're a bad marriage. It doesn't even have to be abusive. It can be, just not what you deserve. And you have a hard parent, an alcoholic parent, and a parent with an addiction. Pray for that strength. Pray for that wisdom. Pray for him to show you what path to take, because he will. I promise you he will. If you open your heart to him and you pray for that, he will. And if you are not much of a believer, or like a lot of people say, like, quote unquote religious person, it may feel weird and out of the norm to pray, but when you pray and you really, really mean every word, he will hear you and he will guide you. And I promise you will feel it. So I want to do something really different today at the end of this episode. And if you don't want to listen, that's fine. You can turn it off. But I want to pray for you. And I am not a praying out loud kind of Christian. I kind of get embarrassed when I pray and things like that, but I really truly care for you and I want to pray for you. And if you want to listen and you want me to pray for you, you can keep going. And if not, you can turn it off. So I want you to close your eyes and just focus on my voice and open your heart. Lord, I want to thank you so much for this amazing soul that is listening to me right now. I pray for them to hear you, and I pray for them to open their heart to you. I pray that any trauma that they have endured or that they are going through right this moment, that you take it away, Lord. I pray that you can give them that peace and that the need to move on will be so strong that you can give them that ability to move on. Please give them the peace and the love that I know you can. Please help them call on you when their hearts just can't take it anymore. And Lord, I ask that you soften their hearts and help them forgive who has hurt them. Give it all to you, Lord, so you can take away their anxiety, their pain, their stress, their sadness, their depression, and take care of their heart. Please help them give this to you, Lord, to help from their hearts to grow bitter. And I just want to thank you, Lord, for them and their amazing hearts. And I pray that you protect them and you take care of them. And thank you for your grace and love. Thank you for all the love you give to us and all the blessings you give to us each and every day. In your name I pray. Amen. I hope that made you feel like your heart was fulfilled. And I hope that you start praying for peace and help with your trauma and in your journey. And I know this episode was very different, but I felt very called to make an episode like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please let me know what you think. And I would love some feedback if you guys listen, or if maybe you feel that there's somebody in your life that really needs to hear this. I would love for you to send it to them. I want to reach as many people as I can. And thank you again, guys. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will talk to you soon.